In this episode of Conversations, we speak with Sean Delaney about what he wishes he was doing more of, what he wishes he was doing less of, and what he, Paul McCartney, and Jerry Seinfeld all have in common. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Delaney. Let's go back to talking about, your typical day. We know how your day starts. It's with the numbers. What do you wish that you were doing more of with your day at the dealership?
I wish I was spending more time with customers, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I love our customers. I love the Hog chapter. I love spending time with the folks that come in the store, now both stores, and so I wish I could do more of that, which I kind of do a lot of. I'm very active in our Hog chapter. I'm a member of it.
Yeah.
I go to every meeting. I speak at every meeting. We have a really unique Hog experience at our store, and if you let me share it, I think it's kind of cool. Maybe it'll help some other dealers. But a long time ago, I remember when I first started at Naples Harley Davidson, I was driving north, and Scott Fisher called me, and he said, it was like my second day, and my head was spinning, and he goes, "Let me tell you a quick piece of advice." He goes, "Getting good with the Hog chapter, and your life will get much better." and I said, "Okay, boss." And I didn't know what he meant, but he was completely right. So I took it upon myself to get actively involved in the Hog chapter. And we don't do, we don't do elections. We don't do any of that. I'll explain what we do. So, when it slows down a little bit, like in November, general managers are tasked with meeting the new incoming director. So there's an outgoing director and there's an incoming director. Yeah, even if the existing director is going to be the director next year, we still meet with them. So it's like a job interview. And we just ask them, do they align with our core values? And if they do, if they still align with our core values, what are you looking for out of the Hog chapter next year? What are you guys looking to do? What's your thoughts? What's your vision for the Hog chapter next year? And if we like that person, then we ask them to be the director. And then the director gets to pick with the general manager their team. So we do what's called applications. Everybody applies for certain Hog positions. And then we interview them on a Saturday morning, 15 minutes. It's on a timer. Everybody sits down, give them 15 minutes to tell us why you want to be, whether it's lead road captain, whether it's ladies of Hog director, whatever it is.
Right.
And they come in and they have to talk. And there could be multiple people applying. And then we try to pick the best person. So it's with the general manager and the director together. And so now you have a team of people that were handpicked and selected. And, do you occasionally have a person whose feelings were hurt because they didn't get the spot? Yes, you do. But, maybe you say to them, "Hey, why don't you be the assistant for this year?" And then you learn it. And then maybe next year. And then you'll see if they really wanted to do it anyway. So when we do that, it really leads to a great relationship between the general manager and the director of the Hogs. And then it also is his board, not yours.
Right.
So I always tell my director, you are in charge. And they are flabbergasted because they think you're going to be in control of everything. I go, I don't got time for that. I don't want no part of that. And they laugh, but like you did. And I go, I just don't. So, it gives them some autonomy too. And you want to meet with that person, that director, maybe every quarter, just catch up. We go through the budget and, they turn in their monthly financial data to me, which is important to keep that financial stuff tight because that can really be a problem in a Hog chapter. And, next thing you know, you got a great relationship with the director and the board. And, they see that the director is really leading in a great way. And next thing you know, you had a great Hog chapter. Now we have 300 Hog chapter members. Now you got 300 people out there talking good about you.
Towards carrying zealots, right?
Yeah, and talking good about the store. And you know what? If you need to go somewhere and bring a whole bunch of people, the Hog chapter will be there. If you have a big event and you need some help at the event, they're there. If you're doing a slow race on a Saturday, boom, they're running it. They're in it. They're having fun with it. And, it's so important. So it's customers too. But if you start with the Hog, it tends to make everything a little bit easier, especially if you have big Hog chapters. And, my stores always have had big Hog chapters from Naples to Top Rocker out in California to here. We've had big Hog chapters and it's great when you have a really great positive relationship with your Hog chapter. It makes it better. And I know Harley was talking a lot about lately about reviving that, and maybe, there's some virtual stuff, but, I can't tell you enough good things about just being out on the floor, hanging with customers, getting to know them. You're walking by, you hear an old guy make a comment. What happened? About his tire, and maybe he didn't understand. And, boom, now you're fixing things. And, it doesn't escalate or elevate into a
and that's what it's about, keeping your finger on the pulse of what's happening with your customers. What do you wish you did less of during your day?
Well, I wish I did less of. I don't know. I really like my days. I don't necessarily. I don't know. I really probably couldn't answer. I love every day. I mean, I do. I get a kick. I don't think I ever dread coming to work. I never think that way. I love it here. I love the staff. I love what we do. I think I've gotten to the point where, I think I have pretty good time management. Less of, I don't know. I wish.
Fair enough.
I wish I could say something. I don't know.
You're a guy at the top of his game who has engineered your day as you like it. I mean, nothing wrong with that. You and I share a common practice, and that is transcendental meditation. Can you tell me about your journey to TM and how you think that has helped you?
Yeah, it was funny when you asked me to do this, and I was thinking about all the things we could talk about. And I thought to myself, well, I'd like to talk about that because, there's probably so many general managers, operating partners, dealer principals, sales managers, parts managers, service managers, especially, I'm sure, that deal with so much stress and anxiety. And, I was one of those people for a really long time. And, I also, and Mark, you've shared this too, I also was very sometimes egomaniacal, very ambitious, and my ambition sometimes got the better of me. And both business and personal. Hurt me sometimes. I moved 9 times in 12 years. Well, you can imagine what that does to your wife and your kids. And, all for maybe myself and my ambition. And, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, real similar to when you started practicing transcendental meditation as well. And I tell the story. I had a really rough day at work. I came home, and of course I had a really rough day with my wife, because when you have a bad day at work, you sometimes bring that home.
Yeah.
And I was being a jerk, as I sometimes could be. And I was on my couch. We had a pretty good fight, and I was on my couch, and I said, God, there's gotta be something better than this. And I swear I heard the words transcendental meditation. I have no clue. I've heard about it before, on some radio shows, or maybe I saw Jerry Seinfeld practices or something. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how, but I heard those words. And this is the funniest part. I get up. It's 11 o'clock at night. I get up, I go to my computer, and I type in Transcendental Meditation Albuquerque. A site pops up. I do a digital lead. I actually typed in my contact information, and I swear my phone rang 10 seconds later. And I'm like,
how fun.
Whoa. I'm like, these people are on it.
They're on it.
This must be a cult, and they're in the middle of nowhere, and they have phone answering people. So this little old lady says, hi, I'm Jerry. I just happened to be awake, and I saw your thing, and we're having a seminar this weekend, and we'd love for you to come. I have 2 open spots. Now I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is unbelievable. This is such a sales process. Like, I have limited access. So I'm like, well, Jerry, I got to call you tomorrow because I got to talk to my wife about it, and blah, blah, blah. But it was unbelievable. So I get up the next morning, and I say to my wife, hey, I'd love for us to go. Would you consider it? She's, no way I'm going to that.
Right.
Crap. And I said, please, just would you just think about it? And about an hour later, she goes, you know what, I'll go. What do I got to do? And so we called the lady, and she goes, okay, I have two openings, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap to learn how to do it. So I signed up. We went, me and my wife. We had to get immediate babysitters. We didn't have any babysitters at the time. for the kids, and everything worked out. So we got to go. And it was awesome. It took a weekend, 2 days, and we learned how to do it. And we've been doing it ever since. Been 4.5 years or something. I don't know how long it's been anymore. But it's really changed my life. It's changed my family life. It's changed my personal life. It's changed my life at work. I'm not as stressed. I don't feel stressed the same way anymore. If anything could have given you stress, it was probably New Mexico shutting down businesses during COVID. And you know what? We had a plan. We worked the plan. We came through it really well. We had a blast doing it. We were able to really get through it together as a team. And I believe that came from meditating. And I do it 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. I actually do it at work sometimes, and I have do not disturb on my work. Now, if you would have told me that, Mark, you met me a long time ago.
Yes.
You would have told me that
No way.
12 years ago, 13 years ago, that I'm telling you.
Yeah, where's Sean? He's meditating. Right.
They used to laugh because there's no way that's Sean. So I didn't think I could do 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that go, I could never do that. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Nobody was busier than me. And I did it. And I'm telling you, I'm so not busy now that it's the greatest,
Yeah.
and I do it. I look forward to it. It's almost like, I don't know if you feel the same way. It's like getting a massage. I get done and I feel invigorated and revived, and I'm clear-headed, and I'm not crazy. I'm not nuts about, things like I used to be. And, things just seem to be happening that are positive. And, I can talk about things in a much more rational fashion rather than getting so emotional and upset about things. And, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people out there like myself that would probably, and still are, a lot of anxiety, stress about work, what's going to happen. And I don't know. Once I started meditating, it all changed. And, I'm sure you could speak on it too.
Yeah. Well, we live in such a frenetic time. When you check your devices, you look at your phone 80, 100, 150 times a day. It's just a great way of calming the mind, getting more creative, being more productive, and just harnessing the power of your mental abilities, And
I don't have any idea how it works. I just know it works. I mean, that's the truth. There's no secret to it. There's no cult. There was no cult.
I know. At first, I thought it was a cult.
That was answering phones. Look, no one's ever contacted me since I went and learned. No one's ever done anything. It's so hysterical because I laugh because I'm like, no, I just sit down for 20 minutes. And so there's no teaching other people. There's nothing that you have to do.
Yeah. And no multi-level marketing. You don't have to bring 2 more people. Yeah.
No, there's none of that. I'm not on here talking about it, so I want more people. You don't do anything. And a lot of times I don't really even share it. I just, if someone asks me about it, I'll tell them. Yeah. But I thought on this conversation how important it is because I just know how it is. I know when I was a little bit younger and new in the business, there was always the next best thing. Yeah. There was always the next best this or the next best that, or I needed to go there and I could do that. And, these guys wanted me to come work for them or that. And I was getting in my head and, my ego would spin and it's just ridiculous. It's like being on a hamster wheel. And, in reality, a lot of times where you're at's the best place for you. And, anyway, so it's been pretty good.
It's funny. I read it in Ray Dalio's book Principles, and he had talked about TM. So I did some research, and the person that sold me was Jerry Seinfeld. I thought to myself, if somebody as cynical and as pragmatic as Jerry Seinfeld, and Jerry Seinfeld says, if you don't do it, you're stupid. Yeah. He is that blunt about it. And then I went back, and found out that this is what the Beatles did right before Sgt. Pepper's. I was sold. Yeah. So there you have it.
Yeah, and to that point with my wife, that's the one who she didn't want to do it, and every day she does it now. And is our relationship perfect? No, it's still got its ups and downs, but I'll tell you, it's a lot better than it used to be. And it came from that. And to your point about creativity, there's sometimes I just go, where did that come from? Where did that thought come from? Yeah. Or what we're working on, or whatever. But yeah, it's really amazing. And again, I'm just talking because I know there's a lot of managers out there that struggle with it like I did. And there's just an answer that can help you. But again, you got to want to do it.
Yeah. Powerful stuff. In our next interview with Sean, we hear his final advice for dealers. But until then, go sell something, will you?